All right, we got Kode Red in the building. What's going on with you, man?
Peace, God, peace.
So how did you come up with the name Kode Red?
I was actually named by Breeze Joaquin from Black Wall Street. I was looking for a new moniker at the time, and I don't know, we was just talking about a lot of different things, including the Bloody Money mixtape 2, Bloody Money 2 mixtape that I was supposed to be on, that we didn't get to get on. And so he was just like, how about we name you Kode Red? He was like, that's pretty dope. I was like, all right. And then it's an acronym, actually, which stands for Karma Overrides Defying Energy. Redemption exists only in death. And so basically, a lot of times when the energy of a situation is heavily unbalanced, I'm a messenger angel to rectify that energy.
Nice. And how did you come up with the term Down Boulevard? What is that about?
So shout out to Dane Bozzy, Trigger Control. Dane Bozzy is one of my brothers. He's an international producer who's sold out in Amazon and like overseas, like Japan and stuff of that nature. He just had his 10th anniversary box celebration for his album Trigger Control. You can find him on Spotify. He was the one who originally created Down Boulevard, and he didn't want it anymore. So I told him to give it to me, and he did. And so that's what it is now. It's really organized. So it's a series of organizations, but we also say that it's the home for the broken-hearted refugee, and may you guys find peace here. So when you think of Down Boulevard, think of basically like a multiverse, and of where all of my art would exist, and where it comes in conjunction with others, and that's what Down Boulevard is.
Okay. What's your affiliation with BWS, if you don't mind me asking?
No big worries. As I said, I was named by Breeze Joaquin. I met him early in, let's say mid-2000s. I met him, and he was from a crew called Black Wall Street. I didn't know what that was at first, but he basically took a liking to me. I took a liking to him, and we just started hanging out. And then he named me, and he basically grabbed me underneath that situation. Later on down the road, I met Meezy Fettuccine DiCaprio, shout out, salute. And meeting him, we decided to become allies and further connect. So Black Wall Street, for all those that don't know, is the rapper The Games crew, and I have a connection with them now through Meezy that originated from my meeting of Breeze Joaquin.
And was Black Wall Street originated in Compton, California, or like in the LA area?
Yeah, it's originally, that's what's funny about me is I'm from San Diego, but Riverside and Los Angeles have been homes to me too. And Black Wall Street originally was a term that meant a set of businesses for individuals that were black businessmen during the Prohibition era, I believe, where there was high slavery and things of that nature as well. Like, these are the buildings that the government bombed and took away from black people. Well, apparently Game and his crew took this name and basically made a remembrance for these people out of it, and Black Wall Street is a token remembrance of that occasion, and a point of history, and it's really centralized on Brazil and Wilmington, which is a cross section in LA. Yeah.
Okay. The reason I ask that is because I hear a lot of people ask, what that means. And I know that I heard of Meezy. You know, I'm a fan of Meezy's music as well. And I have noticed that Tulsa, Oklahoma is named after Wall Street. You know, it's called Black Wall Street in that area. But then I looked and I saw, you know, that there's a Black Wall Street Records in Compton. So I was like, what Wall Street is he actually referring to? So that's why I asked that question, because there is a story, or like a backstory, about Tulsa, Oklahoma, you know, being named Black Wall Street, and you have to just study it. Do you have any idea what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was, I believe, during 1921, which is why I said I believe it was during the Prohibition era, and it was the section of businesses. There was very high-ranking business officials and leaders that were black in that section, and the United States of America actually bombed that section of America. And we on the West Coast have a high propensity to take certain historical landmarks from history and name our crews or our projects after that. And so, with that being said, that's in regards to that. And that's the same thing when you think Black Wall Street and Compton, you would think in remembrance of Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in remembrance of Black history and further, like advocating Black rights. That's really what that's for.
Interesting. Okay. And, you know, so now that you've allied with, you know, with Meezy and some partners, you know, in BWS, what's the next move?
Looking forward towards the future, I've been talking with West Coast Mafia about some things that I won't necessarily mention here, but we've been talking about doing some music together and things of that nature. So I'm working on that, because with Meezy, he's busy a lot. He's working on a lot of his own things, and even though I'm allied with BWS, that still means that you still have to do your independent work. So as an artist, my further connection moving with West Coast Mafia is a big thing for me right now. And then also trying to get my book in print, because I am an author too. So I'm going to get my book in print and move forward with that. And then also I have a connection right now for people that want podcast material to go on like live TV and things of that nature. Probably pairing with them, with a couple of other artists or content creators, if you will, so that we can do that. One of my friends, shout out the other half of Above the Order, his name is Marcos Tegui, aka Shinobi, is really big on trying to repurpose Hollywood right now in terms of making independent creators bigger, because of not only because of the strikes, but also because of the fact that in previous times Hollywood was so unapproachable, and so like it was very hard for us to get in. But now that we have our own media, we can be the news, we can do what we want to do ourselves now. He's big on trying to move into that, and I'm definitely trying to help him with that. So that's where I stand at with that.
Okay. That's interesting, man. That's really good. Thanks for sharing that with us, Kode Red. We've already went in about 9 minutes. So, you know, we have a few minutes left, and, you know, we can go a little longer, you know, up to 30 minutes. It's no big thing. I'm no big hurry. But I really appreciate, you know, you sharing how did you get the name Kode Red? How did you come up with Down Boulevard and your affiliation with BWS? And it's really interesting to hear about the history and the timeline on some of these series of events of the Black Wall Street. You know, how do you feel about, you know, having reaching these alleys and, you know, and these goals, and and how do you keep yourself determined?
That's a good question. The determination part, I have to think about why I'm still doing art, and why, and who I'm doing art for. become as rich as Jay-Z or as rich as anybody else, but it's also to leave like a historical landmark. And as an MC, because for me, there's a difference between rappers and MCs, and I'm definitely an MC. I've been a club host. I've been a flyer model, things of this nature. I've opened for crowds, things like big crowds from between 1,500 and 3K. Been a podcaster, won Best New Podcast in Cali previously, things of that nature. Worked with organizations that help the youth, help the homeless. Not only is this therapy for me in lots of situations, but it's also a form of an expression and a beacon of light for my people. Since they tore down the Library of Alexandria, I believe that's what's in our music, and that's one of the ways that we continue to help that circulate. And so, because of that, I have to think, why do I do this? In terms of meeting goals, that's always going to be a thing. I'm really hypercritical of my own self. I think I'm probably my biggest critic. And so a lot of times I feel like I haven't done enough. But I still keep trying to pursue more, because that's just the type of individual that I am. I'm not going to stop. I told everybody I was going to quit rapping at 44, but then COVID came. So, X-rated shout-outs is 48. And as long as I get traction between now and that age, I feel like I will keep doing music until that, or I will keep trying to find a way to do something musically oriented until that age, particularly if I don't run out of content. You feel what I'm saying? That's where I'm at with it.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That's really good to hear. I did a record with you once. We had did something before on BandLab. That was my first time working on BandLab this year. And I think that might have been the first time I even did anything on BandLab in the past, I say over 2 years ago. It's been at least 2 years since I actually did anything on there. But you were the one that actually cleaned it up. You did the most work on it. And what was it like for you when you entered the contest and won third place with Meezy on Sir ENT?
I think that was really dope. The record was really dope. I think the problem with the record was that an individual copied our tags. I don't want to give that individual more credit than they deserve, because they don't deserve a lot. They don't deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah,
and they're really out here swagger jacking for credit.
Yeah,
and evidence is them stealing our tags, things of that nature. And I think a lot of times, certain people just want to be affiliated with certain things that might not be for them, or they want to be, certain backgrounds that might not be for them. And so I think that individual is just attempting to try to be someone that isn't for them and be a part of something that isn't necessarily for them. But the problem with that record, again, was that an individual stole the tags for that record, and the judges couldn't find that tags. And so by the time they got to that tags, I guess that the taste in their mouth was kind of sour, because they had to search for those tags so many times. The other thing, I got a review on that record. They pretty much said that they liked it, but I was told also that because the record was against an individual, basically, that it was looked at differently than a lot of other records. But I was also told that record was considered by the judges one of the most active records in that contest. That people in the penitentiary, shout outs all my lifers, all my people down in the cell blocks, particularly those with marijuana charges, man, because look at this shit. We supposed to be making money off of that, and the system went ahead and made money off of it, and they still got these people locked up for it. So particularly the shout outs to the people like that. or people who got unfair strikes from the system, because not everybody that's in there is necessarily a bad person. They just went through some bad circumstances. But I was told that those people on the yard think that record was the most active out of the whole contest, and that they really liked it. And in terms of mixing the record, shout out again to Dave Bozzi. He's always told me that eventually I was gonna have to work and do some kind of engineering. And my other brother, Prop 24, aka Mike Will, shout out. He told me a long time ago that I was gonna have to do some kind of engineering. I told them, both of them, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. But actually making that types of records and doing them the way that I did in BandLab, I'm really a fan of that. I like that, and it was really fun for me, and I enjoyed working with West Coast Mafia on that, and I look forward to working with you guys some more.
Yes, man. Thank you, man. Same here, man. We can't wait to work with some more of your talent, man. I love working with you, man. And we just did that one record, and people were already jumping on us about that, So, yeah, congratulations. Yeah, you had won third place, and now Meezy has been offered an opportunity to actually host contests for the Rap Fame app, according to Meezy, and I'm really proud of him about that. When are you and Meezy working on anything? Because I actually talked to Meezy and I asked him, is he going to work on a record with you? And he says, yeah. And he had told me that he sent you a beat just over the weekend or something like that. So how is that working for you?
I still haven't necessarily received anything from him. I have heard some bits and pieces of the projects that he wants to work on. And, when it's time, that's kind of the type of person Mr. DiCaprio is when it's time for him. And I get it, because he has a lot going on. He's busy in a lot of different ways. So, shout outs to him. But I definitely want to work with him again, and I can't wait till we work with each other again. It's always like a family reunion, bro, when I work with this guy, because we're fam, but one of us is in one state and the other one is in the other state, even if we in the same state.
Yes.
That's the way that it is. And that's just the way life is, man. So, once again, it'll be like a family reunion, and I definitely look forward to working with him. He has an immense sorts of talent, and he has an awesome sense of direction with how he maneuvers in his talent. And so that's fire.
Yes.
So shouts out to him again. And like I said, we'll be working. And then I was also told I was added into another section of music with him and yourself.
Yes.
So I'll be responding to that soon too. And we'll see what can we get out of that and what happens. And that's pretty much where I stand out on that.
Big shout out to Meezy DiCaprio and SIR Entertainment, or better known as SIRENT. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I want to just give a big shout out to all the San Diego artists out there. I mean, I can't name them all, but Mew and I have talked about Mitchie Slick. We talked about J.O. Felony. We talked about Twisted Insane. We might have talked about Nick Cannon. I'm not really sure. I know we discussed about, I know we talked about Snow the Product. Shout out to all of them. iRock, you know what I'm saying? I love listening to, my California artists. I love it on the West Coast. So I was really looking to speak with you on this episode, on this podcast, because I listened to your work and I just thought that you were just really built for this Black urban hip hop shit. You already look like you belong to Strange Music, and you fit along with Twisted Insane and all the rest of them, ISO, or even X-Rated. When you discussed with me about his album A Prayer in Hell, you gave me bits and pieces about the background story of his album, and I thought it was really interesting. What made you feel like A Prayer in Hell by X-Rated was the album of the year?
I'm gonna keep it funky, and I'm gonna say a couple things. Again, shout out Twisted Insane. Like you said, people like Missy Slick. Who else is in this caliber of artists? This is an underground sound that we've all had for a long time, and some of us got famous and a lot more recognition than others, and some of us couldn't stay out of jail as much as some of us could, as much as others. You know what I'm saying? Some of us couldn't stay out of jail or the prison system, dude, and we got attached to a life, regardless whether it be like you said, like you're getting yelled at for your lyrics and penalized for your lyrics or whatever, things of that nature. For me, X-Rated is a big inspiration, bro, and the reason why is because what he's taking in A Prayer in Hell, I believe in a lot of the same message that he spread, and he basically took like the narrative of political black, like Afrocentricism, and really poured that out in a classic record. I've already been a big fan of Strange Music, and what Strange Music had going on when they signed X-Rated, I looked up really good to that, and then once I heard the record and what he did with his part of Strange Music and what that represents for Strange Music, I thought that was really, really dope. The only thing that I would like to see, minus, maybe me getting signed as Strange, would be for them to finally settle the beef with ISO, and then, excuse me, not ISO, but with Twisted Insane. The beef with Twisted Insane. And once they settle that beef with Twisted Insane, I believe that, like, Tech could really be a powerhouse record. Not saying that he already isn't, but just looking at the things that he's done, like he's had Lynch over there, and then now he has Rated over there. He's been able to absorb really heavy West Coast artists that the industry might have otherwise not have given a slot, not because they're like destructive in their message, but because their message is too Afrocentric, and that's a crazy time to live in.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's that's deep. That's really deep. I'm a big fan of X-Rated. I met X-Rated before. I kind of wrote for him before. My friends had opened up a show for him. He's a really humble guy. He's a humble dude, and he's just way beyond his time, man. I mean, like, I've been hearing all these people hyped up about The Realest by Eminem and Easy Mill, and I've been hearing everybody, or I would say that a lot of people online today in the media have been basically throwing shots at Eminem. They've been trying to drag him online. And I feel like X-Rated just, he needs to get his point across because, he's been down. He was down for so long, and, he released so much great content while he was behind bars. So they need to give him all his flowers while he's alive, because nowadays people, rappers die and become legends, and, it's like, that's why I feel like people, I'm not saying that X-Rated is underrated. I'm saying that I think that a lot of people has been sleeping on him. I just say that because, I just feel like a lot of artists are not giving him his flowers. And the ones that do, shout out to them, and, and shout out to X-Rated, his family, friends, and supporters and everything. And shout out to Strange Music, for giving him that opportunity to make a comeback, I have one other question for you, and then we can wrap this up. We got a few more minutes left, about 6 minutes left. So I'm going to try to make this good. The one last question, or, a couple more questions. What exactly is it about the EP that, what made you call it The Answer?
Oh, yeah. So I'm working on this EP called The Answer. A lot of political things that I look at, I mimic or call in response in my art. And so I feel like the world's got a question in its mind right now regarding, things of the nature. Are we in the last days? Are we in Revelations? Is AI going to destroy the earth? Do we have certain issues with certain people? Well, this is the answer. The EP will be spoken as this is the answer. And so that's what we're going to do. That's going to be hosted by West Coast Mafia. You guys be on the lookout for that.
Yeah.
And we'll be doing the answer here shortly. I think between now and November. There's a lot going on, but I'm going to try to get it out by November 2nd, which is my birthday, by the way.
Wow, happy early birthday. Yeah, that's right around the corner too, man. This year is going by pretty quick. Time goes by so fast, man. I mean, like, I think just like, you got to just start now. If you don't start now, you want to wait to start, it'll take forever because time moves so fast, and when that time goes by so quick, it makes you want to give up when you didn't start right away. You know what I'm saying? And so, those of you that are listening, pull yourself together. You know what I'm saying? Because time waits for nobody. You know what I'm saying? And you heard a man right here, Kode Red. He's working on the EP. And it's called The Answer. Y'all really should check that out. Check out the A Prayer in Hell by X-Rated, because I think X-Rated's on tour right now. Shout out to Tech Nine.
Allen Iverson too, because don't they call AI the answer? So that's what we doing on the EP too, is we taking shots. So there you go.
I want to say shout out. I want to say this too. Big shout out to Strange Music and Ventilante International. I think I said that right. But big shout out to Mr. Stinky, rapper Mr. Stinky. He's did multiple records with Tech Nine. He's opened up shows with No Limit Records executive Master P and his artists. He's done some records with Nipsey Hussle. He's got records with Gigahertz. He does all kinds of music. He's reggae, dance hall, rap, hardcore, hip hop, everything. I mean, like, and I want to say that because big shout out to Mr. Stinky, because he's kind of the reason why I wanted to do more podcasts. I hadn't did any podcasts for over 2 months. And then like suddenly, Mr. Stinky, reaches out to me, and I reached back out to him, and we recorded an interview, and he published it on his podcast on Anchor. And I think the episode is called Jay Sanders and Crew from San Jose with Mr. Stinky, I think. And we just talked about, the music industry, some really vital information about the music business, and so shout out to Mr. Stinky for having me on his podcast. That's like the closest I've ever been to talk to someone from Strange, and one more question for you before we wrap this up, Mr. Kode Red. Do you plan on working on this EP with anybody else besides yourself? Because I know you have a friend or a partner named by the name of Vibes, and I know that she sounded really good too. So what's going on with your artist at Down Boulevard?
Vibes is her own entity. So when she, depending upon how she wants to behave, when she got time for somebody, you know what I'm saying, and she might be a part of something. If she can, she keep the politics straight and things of that nature, we might incorporate her. It just depends on how she acts. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, she's definitely part of Down Boulevard and has been, and is gonna stay that way for a very long time. So yeah, that's the thing. They say business and pleasure mixed together is a very difficult nuance. So with that being said, again, shout outs to Vibes, and we'll see if she's on any records. I do have 2 records with her already that I could probably put on there, and we just clean up. So if you guys haven't checked out After Dinner and After Dinner Dessert, those are like Brother Lynch inspired type of records. Check those records out, and like then you'll be able to see what we'll do, or if we do something new.
Okay.
Put her on there.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, that sounds good, man. Thanks for your time. Thanks for sharing that with us, Mr. Kode Red. We really appreciate it. We're running out of time here, so I'm going to ask this one last question, and then we got to go. Mr. Kode Red, why don't you share with us where we can find your music and where we can find you on social media?
I really need more followers on my TikTok right now. So if you guys want to come over to TikTok and follow me over there, it would be at RedSummer59. And you can follow me on TikTok. And then for my IG, you guys can follow me over there. Even though I'm rarely over there, that will be Above the Order or Down Boulevard. And that's pretty much it. Or if you guys have any questions, you guys can also find me at Down Boulevard or Dame Bazzi, DAMEBAASI.com, or you guys can go purchase some gear from ChaseDemons.com and save 10% on your orders with the promo code KODE10. And then when you guys make your orders, just inbox in the field right there that you guys want to talk business with us or whatever, and we'll do that too. And by the way, the Chase Demons brand does does promote advocacy for against like our lower vibrational frequency, so like stress, fear, things of that nature. That's why it said we chase demons, we don't let them chase us, and so that's the thing with that.
Excellent.
Sound good?
Sounds good. Well, Mr. Kode Red, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you so much for working on that record with me on you know what I'm talking about, and I really look.
We can go ahead and say, hey, you can say Ryder's not a legend. That's all I need to know about that. That's all I need to know about. That's as far as the conversation of that individual. That's all I need to know.
I really appreciate that, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm looking forward to working with you again. And big shout out to Down Boulevard. Big shout out to BWS. Big shout out to the West Coast Mafia, and shout out to all the supporters, friends, family, and everybody that's listening. We really appreciate your time and your support. And we'll be right back after these messages. Everybody have a great week and have a blessed weekend. And we are out. Peace.